CC family.
Welcome anyone else tuning in.
Hi friends.
Hey kids. Lisa, what holiday did we just celebrate?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. And did you have a good time? Yeah, it was fun, but did we get to see everyone that we normally get to see?
No.
No? Why not?
Because COVID.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, COVID kind of ruined our big family gathering that we normally have. We normally get to see more people. And Thanksgiving and Christmas are fun because those are kind of holidays where we normally would get together with a whole bunch of family, maybe even a whole bunch of friends, and be able to see a whole bunch of people. That's what makes it fun, right, Lisa? And this year we kind of didn't get that. So, Lisa, do you remember who the first man on Earth was? Who was the first person on Earth? What was his name?
Adam.
Adam. And eventually he became lonely, so God gave him a wife. What was his wife's name?
Eve.
Eve. Yeah, and were Adam and Eve perfect?
No.
No, they were made in God's image, but eventually what did they do?
They ate the kind of fruit they were told not to.
Yeah, God gave them instructions and said you can eat from any tree in the garden except the one in the middle. And then, which tree did they eat from?
The middle.
The one in the middle. So that wasn't very good. And then they had kids, right? They had Cain and Abel. And were their kids perfect? No? Do you remember what Cain did that was wrong? What did he do?
He made Abel die.
Yeah, he killed Abel. So that wasn't very good either. And it doesn't take us very long reading the Bible in Genesis, in the first book, to find that family gets a big list. In Genesis chapter 5, it gives us Adam and his son Seth and his kids and all the way to Noah. And that's how we start the story of Noah in Genesis chapter 6. Now, were there any other people on earth after the story of Noah? No? How many people were on the boat? Do you remember? Noah. And Noah had 3 sons, so that's 4. And then each son had a wife. So 4 plus 4 is?
7?
8.
8.
There were 8 people that came off the boat. Is that a real big family? No, and they had to repopulate. They had to make a bigger family, right? So they had to have lots of babies. Did you know that when Adam and Eve were in the garden, the only other command that he gave them, apart from not eating from the tree in the middle, was to be fruitful and multiply? Do you know what be fruitful and multiply means? It means to have babies, to have a family. Do you think family is important to God if it's one of the first commandments he gave us? Yeah, family is a big deal. So we see in Genesis a couple times where we get big family lists. In Genesis chapter 5, we get Adam to Noah, and then we get Noah to Abraham. I think it's in Genesis 11. And today we're going to look at Matthew. And Matthew is one of the Gospels, which means that it tells the story of Jesus. And the other 3 Gospels, Mark, Luke, and John, start with stories. Well, John starts with poetry, but they kind of jump right into the story of Jesus. But Matthew doesn't do that. Matthew says, if God thinks family is important, then I think family is important. And he gives a record of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. So in Genesis, we got Adam to Noah, and then Noah to Abraham, or Abram. He has 2 names. And then in Matthew chapter 1, it takes us from Abraham all the way to Jesus. Is that neat? Yeah, a lot of times I think we read it and we don't think that it's super fun to read the genealogy, but family is important. Lisa, is your dad perfect?
No.
No. Is your grandpa perfect? No. Have you heard lots of stories about grandpa? Yeah? Are they good or bad stories?
Bad.
Bad? You hear lots of bad? Yeah, normally we tell good stories about our family. Do you remember Great-Grandpa Ron at all? Yeah? A little bit? Yeah, you were alive for a little bit of his life, and he loved you very much. and he was a great man. But do we tell bad stories about Great-Grandpa Ron?
Yeah.
No, not very often. In history, a lot of people, when they record their stories, they only tell the good stories. For us, we have the Bible. Does the Bible only tell good stories? No, sometimes it tells about the bad things, right? It tells that Adam and Eve ate the fruit that they weren't supposed to. It tells that Cain killed his brother Abel. And even Abraham. Abraham was a liar. That's not a good thing, is it? And his son Isaac, he did the same thing. And then Jacob wasn't even a very good dad to a bunch of his kids. So the Bible gives us all the bad stories too. Why do you think it gives us the bad stories, Liesl?
Because I think it's supposed to be telling us not to do that.
Yeah, we should learn not to do the things that our family does that are wrong. Did you know that Great-Grandpa Ron, when I was little, about your age, he was a smoker? Yeah, we don't talk about that very often because he gave it up. But I was old enough to remember the negative effects that had on him. And so I chose not to smoke because I watched my grandpa do it. I didn't have to learn for myself. Sometimes we can learn things from our family just because they're not perfect either. But do they love us anyway? Yeah, we always love our family. God gave us this great gift that's family. And so, especially in this Thanksgiving time, in this Christmas season, if family is tough, if family is more headache than joy, we have to remember that we have another family too. And who's the head of that family? Jesus. Because Jesus said, "Who is my brother? Who is my sister?" And then went to say, "Anyone who believes in me is part of my family." And you're a blessing, and your sister Kaylin is a blessing, and your sister Felicity is a blessing. We're thankful to be able to take care of Jaxie, and we're thankful that we have Mom and our family, and God has given me a responsibility to take care of you. But thankfully, I know that I don't have to do it alone, because who's the real head of our family? Jesus. And Jesus is powerful, and he's the King. Will you pray with me? Dear God, thank you for family. Thank you for Jesus. And his adoption of me. Help me to learn from the mistakes of my family, of the Bible, and from me, so that I might be clean through the forgiveness of Jesus, to live with you in heaven forever. And all God's children said, Amen. And when all God's children prayed together, the devil said,
Bummer.
Bummer.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Christmas.